So yeah, unfortunately I failed monk mode. And honestly, this video is kind of challenging to make because I thought about just not doing it at all. Just ignoring the fact that I failed monk mode and continuing to post different videos. But I decided not to do that because one, I feel like I owe it to people because I made that first video talking about monk mode and how I was going to do it and then come back and make another video. But two, and more importantly, I feel like a lot of people can learn from my mistakes and use what I did incorrectly and not make those same mistakes and then be actually successful in their monk mode challenge. So I want to talk to you guys today about why I failed monk mode and what you can do to avoid these same mistakes. Let's get into it. So the first reason I failed is because I just had way too much on my plate when it came to the monk mode. Now, generally, when you look at other people who talk about doing monk mode, they have what they call a monk mode protocol. They have about 4 non-negotiable tasks that they do every single day. And then they have a few extra tasks that maybe aren't so non-negotiable, but they want to continue to work on and get better throughout the monk mode period. For me, I did not follow these guidelines. This is my first time ever trying monk mode and I was going to do it for 21 days. But I decided to have about 20 different things on my monk mode protocol that I was trying to hit every single day without fail. So right off the bat, you can see why this went south. I know what you're thinking. That's way too many things to do. And you're absolutely correct. Realistically, I should have had about 4 different protocol items that I was really focused on trying to get better at during my 21 days. Rather than having about 20 different things that I was trying to hit every single day. I spread myself too thin with this method because there would be things such as, for example, maybe doing a meditation that I was trying to hit every single day. Rather than actually being engaged in the meditation and actually trying to be locked in and focused and actually try to get the benefits of doing a meditation, I would do it just for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day just to say I knocked it out and continue on with my monk mode challenge. It would have been much smarter to have that maybe as one of my other tasks that I was trying to get better at throughout my monk mode time, where I did it maybe 2 to 3 times a week, but was super focused and super locked in, rather than trying to have that in my protocol where I was doing it every single day. I also made it harder on myself because if I failed one small task, it seemed like the whole challenge was completely failed. When in reality, many people probably wouldn't even have those tasks on their monk mode protocol to begin with. So even something such as small as deciding to sleep in late one day would be looked at as a failure. Rather than just focused in on a select few items that I could hold myself accountable to working on every single day. So what I recommend is, if this is the first time you're doing monk mode or you're coming back to it, one, make sure you're not doing it for too many days. Like I said, I was only doing it for 21 days, which is like the minimum you should do it for, but start out slow and only have about 4 tasks that you're really trying to hit, because it's going to be challenging to do much more than that. And if you do those first 4 tasks maybe for like a week or 2 and you're feeling, okay, I'm feeling good about it, you can always add maybe 1 or 2 other things later on. So start off with 4 and don't spread yourself too thin. Number 2 is having the right mindset. This is another thing where I failed, where I just didn't go into it with the right mindset. And not only the right mindset, but for doing monk mode for the right reason. One of the main things I wanted to get out of doing monk mode was getting a new job by the end of monk mode. And the reason for this is because I had a job previously, but the contract was ending. And so right around the time I started monk mode, I was about to end the last job and I needed to find a new job. So I thought, you know what, let me lock in on monk mode, and by the end of it, I want to have a new job lined up. But luckily for me, I actually was able to get a new job before I even started this challenge, just a few days before I started. And so right off the bat, I was already going in on like, oh, I already accomplished what I wanted to before I even started the monk mode. So that definitely derailed my motivation a bit right off the bat. I feel like that was the wrong reason to really get into wanting to do monk mode, because it was too much of a either you get it or you don't get it. You know, if I got it, that'd have been great, but then instantly I would have lost motivation. But on the flip side, if I hadn't got it, I would have looked at the whole thing as a failure, even if I succeeded on my tasks. There's too much pressure on this one thing. I feel like the monk mode should be its own separate thing that you do in your life, where you really want to have the right mindset going into it, where you're doing it to get to the best version of yourself, and not doing it for some other reason, which is maybe something like me, where I was focused on trying to get a job. Rather than trying to focus on like what you can get out of it, do it for yourself. Because if you go into the thing with I want this or I want that, it's too much of either you succeed or fail, and you don't look at all the progress you've made in between those 2 things. Number 3, and another very important thing that I messed up on, was just not having the right environment while doing this. Number 1, I didn't tell anybody I was going to do this monk mode challenge. The only person I told was one of my really close friends. Other than that, I didn't tell any other people. I was around in my city, and I didn't tell any of my family members or anything like that. And I was also during a period of time where I just got back from traveling and I was planning on moving out. So I had like a month period in between those things where I was just with my family, and so I felt like it was not the right environment because I was so focused in on like my move and focused in on that kind of things and kind of just like meeting up with people for the last time before I moved, and it really wasn't the right environment because, you know, my friends who lived in the same town as me, they didn't know I was on this challenge. So, you know, when they would text me to meet up, I would have to like kind of ignore them or make up a reason why I couldn't go, and it felt kind of weird because one of the tasks I was trying to hit on this monk mode protocol was not to stay up past midnight. And so that's very challenging when people are trying to always hit you up to hang out right before you leave. It's really key to have the right environment. Like, if you think you can get through this by yourself, you're probably not going to get very far. You need that support system around you. So if you have a supporting family or supporting friends, make sure you let them know, because one, they'll probably be happy to help you on your journey and support you, and two, they won't feel like you're just ghosting them or you don't want to hang out with them anymore. And so that's one thing I kind of took away from this, is I really didn't have a good enough support system to really succeed in this monk mode challenge. And I learned how much of self-improvement, yeah, it's on you, obviously, like you got to put in the initiative and it's your focus and it's up to you at the end of the day. But having a support system of people helping you will definitely aid you and keep motivating you through the dog days of doing the monk mode challenge. So definitely don't do what I do, where I try to just do it all by myself, and tell people around you and they can help you. Finally, the last place I messed up was I let just one failure snowball into multiple failures. Now, this is something that I've talked about in previous videos, but one thing I've struggled with a lot is like if I am working on something or I'm trying to hit a task. For example, in this video I was talking about the monk mode protocol. If I messed up just one thing in a day, I let it derail the rest of my day and not hit any of the other things I already had set up for that monk mode protocol. For example, one of my things I wanted to do every day was not check my phone as soon as I got up and not check my phone for the last 30 minutes a day. So for example, if one of the days I got up and I checked my phone because, you know, I fell off or whatever, I checked it, I would look at that day as already a failure on this challenge. So, you know, then I would continue on with the rest of my thing. Maybe I wouldn't eat clean that day. Maybe it's like, oh, why exercise? Or why do this self-care activity? Why work on a YouTube video? This and that and that. I already looked at the day as a failure when I messed up on one small thing, and I let it snowball. And then that compounded over multiple days to where the point where I realized, like, there's no point, I need to stop with this challenge and I need to reassess and reevaluate. What I recommend you guys is, even if you're just having one small, like, little mishap on your challenge, continue to push forward and just reset at that very moment. Take a break, look at why you failed, reassess what you're doing wrong, and then start over right then and there. The fact that you're watching this video or thinking about attempting monk mode shows that you have a lot of strength and you are holding yourself to a higher standard because you know what you can achieve. For me, unfortunately, I failed on this monk mode, but I've had time to reevaluate it, and I feel like I now know what I should do next time to have a successful monk mode challenge. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and is there any other tips that you have to all the people who are attempting monk mode on things that they should really focus on so that way they can have a successful challenge. For me personally, I hope to rejoin the monk mode challenge in the very near future, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated on how that one goes. I really hope this video helped you guys and just looking at where I failed and what you can take away from it, and I wish you guys all the best of luck on your challenge, and let me know how it goes in the comment section below. Until next time guys, I'm out of here. Peace.